We are live.
Sweet.
Come on in, everybody. How you doing?
They're
Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome to the INDIE VOLT LIVEWIRE. Come on in. We won't bite.
we will
Come on in, everybody. First one in the chat is nobody yet.
we will vex.
Come on in.
We may vex.
The chat is working. I think the chat's working. Hang on, let me run over to Facebook and fix my my thing here.
You know what I miss, guys? I miss putting on jackets like a normal person. It used to be so simple.
Odin was the first one in chat.
Who is?
Odin.
Michael Odin.
Modin, hello there. He says he sees how it is.
Where is my
Trish is there. Evening, everyone. Evening, Trish. How you doing? Hope you are well.
All right.
Modin's just typing into the void. There's our notification from Wonderful Chrome.
Yeah, Moden's going to join us a little bit later, I believe.
Yeah, 3 minutes before we're off the air. Send him a link. It'll be great. Hang in there, Michael. It's coming. I'll send it to you.
Let's see here. Where is my... All right. There we go. Getting ready here. I've been ready, but unfortunately, being with my medical condition, it takes me a little longer to get ready now for certain things, including this show. Which
You gotta get like me.
started getting ready like an hour or 2 hours before.
No, my show was already set for tomorrow.
Trista, sorry about your book, Michael. Yeah, tomorrow's show was set up before today's show was.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, what kind of
Some people come prepared.
crap was that?
I got all my questions loaded in, everything.
Uh-oh.
What kind of professionalist crap is that? Man?
Don't say that. Don't say that too loud. That's usually when the system crashes and you lose everything.
Yeah.
I got it all. No, I don't.
Maybe I'll go in there and do a little interfering tonight. Just kidding. You know, I'll tell you guys something though. Speaking of, I have not been killed yet, and me being on the show tonight is proof of life, all right? But I've been losing weight, mainly due to my illness. I've been losing weight, and it's no more so evident than it is in my hands how quickly this weight is dropping off of me. Well, the problem is, it's made my hands smaller, and therefore, my ring keeps falling off.
He lost it.
So yeah, I went to go like flip out like some clothes. You know, you fan your clothes out before you put them on, and just like you just pop them like you would a trash bag. And my ring flew off, and it's somewhere in the bedroom. I don't know where. I heard it hit like a wall or something, but where I cannot tell you. But I'm getting nervous because I don't see it. Like I'm fishing around for it in the house, and I'm like, I can't find my ring. Oh, I'm gonna get killed. I told the boy, I said she's gonna find out I don't have my ring. Yeah, very scary.
Smaller hands, though. Smaller hands. You know what that means.
Oh.
Smaller gloves.
Oh. Cheaper gloves too.
Michael Odin says, ha 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 ha. You think that hinders me, Randy? 3 minutes is all I need.
Poor girl.
CM Booth is in the house. Hope you guys are doing well. We're doing okay, CM. How you doing? Hey. Danae.
Danae.
No, his name is D now, remember?
Well, yeah. Well, but now that I know it's Danae, I'm like, I gotta call him Danae. Which it's a really cool name when you think about it, especially his last name Shogeki is it's another cool last name. I wish I had like a cooler last name. However, I'm looking back at my relatives and they're all Legrands, Legrand, and I'm like, what is this Grant shit? Like Legrand, I could have been Lord Legrand.
They caught your relatives as they come in on Ellis Island. Legrand. Your name is Grant.
Randy, we all know my relatives came in on the boat, but it wasn't at Edis Island.
I was being nice.
I know.
I'm sure you had at least one side of your family come through on the French side.
Yeah. One side.
Grant came from, right?
Yeah. All of Lola's relatives came to Edis Island now. Yeah, they got paperwork. And just to show it says just shows it. It says Tony, Tony on all of them. That's great. It's a horrible joke. I'm going to hell. Welcome everybody to IndieVolt LiveWire. I'm Varian Grant. I'm going to run the intro. Before I do that, though, did you just see the CM Bulls says that finally watched Endgame and WandaVision? How many years has it been? He's like, now I'm lost. People don't like WandaVision. They're saying that it's too slow. Listen, I've sat through Breaking Bad. It'll be okay.
Oh, it's not like Breaking Bad, though, is it? Breaking Bad, the first 2 seasons are all so depressing. It's a hard watch just because the guy keeps losing.
Yeah.
There, and that's what makes the series so awesome is after 2 seasons, he starts winning. And you're like going, good for you. You're sitting there going, good for you. And then you go, holy fuck. It's just genius writing, the whole experience.
Oh, yeah.
I remember people saying,
it's amazing.
I remember people saying, I hate Walt. I hope that he gets what he's coming to him. And I'm like, why? Walt to me still died the good guy.
This is the season he dies. You know his cancer's gonna get him. Oh.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the writer of Falling Down who never imagined fans would start to identify with the character.
Yeah. It's like, I get it. I get it. Let me roll the intro. We'll get right into it, guys. Here we go. Hello, everybody.
I'm not wearing any pants. Film at 11.
If you watch Falling Down and just say it's Hank Pym the day he got fired from Shield,
there you go.
It's a whole new. I mean, like, no wonder he went underground. Hank was out there swinging bats.
Brand new MCU flashback.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. My name is Varian Grant. I'm the founder of IndieVolt Media LLC. Started making comics back in 2008. I am a father, a husband, a comic curator, a comic book publisher, an artist, a geek, a reluctant taxpayer. All those good things rolled into one chocolate ball of sexiness. That's me. I'm here as always with the Indie Princess Nova. Hello.
Hi, guys.
And of course, Mr. Randy Zim. Hello, Randy.
Hey, good. Hello. Good evening. Good morning. Good evening. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Randy Zimmerman. I'm an alternative and independent comics creator, sequential artist. I've been in the direct market for decades and done just about everything that you can imagine inside the direct market, probably a number of times. Right now, I do the Zim Geek channel on YouTube, and I just resurrected Arrow 4.0, Arrow Comics 4.0, and I'm planning my conquest of the comic market. It's all good. Plus, I'm here on IndieVolt. So.
And you've I've seen the Arrow stuff go up, and
it's been a blast already. Yeah. Amazing stuff coming, folks. Great stuff. Can't talk up about it enough. You'll hear more about it as we go along. So,
and of course, Dreaded Dinosaurs joining us this evening. Hello, Dreaded.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Yeah, that's me, Eric Hodson at Dreaded Dinosaur. Just got back from sunny South Florida. And be happy to talk about that a little bit later on. You can find my webcomic on Webtoon called Dreaded Dinosaur Man. And you can also pick up Roddy Piper, the Kilted Avenger from ProWrestlingTees.com and several other projects in the works. And yeah, loving life and making comics. Let's do this.
There we go.
Eric, you look very fancy tonight. Your collar looks ruffled.
Oh, yeah, because this is an old T-shirt.
Yeah, it looks fancy. It's like
I saw that on the commercial where the guy goes out on the date. You look you look comfortable.
Yeah.
You look tired.
This is my dress down day.
He just flew back from Florida, and boy, are his arms tired.
Yeah. So, guys, we got a good show tonight. Got a lot of stuff to talk about. I just heard Charlton Comics referred to as Charlton Arrow the other day.
Charlton does a book. Mort Todd does a book called The Charlton Arrow. And I don't know where he pulled the arrow part from. And I don't ever remember them doing that before Mort started doing it. He might have just picked up on it because he liked the name. But we are Arrow Comics. We're not Charlton. So we've been around since 85. Ralph Griffith and Stuart Kerr actually started Arrow Comics back in 1985. Did Dead World, The Realm, Night Streets, and I did Tales from the Aniverse for that, which was the first Arrow Comics. And then Arrow is kind of like a comic company that comes and goes. Nobody really owns Arrow, but we all just kind of pass the title out amongst each other whenever we really want to get back into printing. And Ralph, when he was when he was sick, I told him what I wanted to do with Arrow, and he absolutely loved it. And he told, especially with the Indie Volt Revolt book that we're doing, and he's got a 12-page story. He's got the longest story in the book that he plotted and wrote some of, that Stuart Kerr is finishing the scripting on. Mark Bloodworth is doing panel breakdowns on. Jason Moore is doing finishes and inks on, and Vince Locke is going to be lettering that we'll have in that book, and it'll really be a tribute to Ralph Griffith, who passed a month or so ago. We already miss him dearly.
One of the things I was telling my mother about, I said, Ralph, I was at Monroe Comic Con, and Ralph walked up behind me, and I was doing something, I was getting an extra badge or something, and he says, "Varian?" And I look, and I'm like, hey, and I'm shocked because it's Ralph. I know who Ralph is because of Arrow. And the fact that he's like, "Hey, how's it going, man?" He's talking to me, and I'm like, I'm starstruck, but he's telling me everything. And I'm like, so it's one of those weird things, you talk to people, and you get to know them, and I think for me, being the biggest celebrity here anyway in this room, I am, clearly.
But every few years, somebody threatens to bring Arrow back, and now
every few years,
every few years. Now it's my turn again. Yeah. I had it from 96 to 2003.
The Facebook launch, Arrow 4.0, you guys can look that up.
Arrow 4.0. Yeah, we have a page over on Facebook. I just put it up yesterday. There's not a lot up there, but there's a header up there and the title up there and the fact that we're coming back, and you can expect crowdfunding to start up here probably within the next week or so.
Should we get into the questions, guys, from this week?
Eric needs to introduce himself, though.
Oh, I'm sorry. Eric, did you not introduce yourself? I thought you did. Yeah.
Did you? Oh, okay. Sorry.
I guess it wasn't memorable.
Yeah.
I guess not. Sorry. Old man. What can I tell you?
All right. So we're going to look at one question here that I had to put in. It actually went over some other ones. I'm sorry. Lola told me I could do it. Here we go.
You don't have to take these things in order.
No.
Dunny Savage Pie Knife coming soon to Kickstarter. Thanks for listening. Dunny, right?
Yeah, not like Dunny, but this is Dunny.
Dunny Savage Pie Knife. Some egghead sent me back a Gemini mailer containing my comic covered in what I'm hoping is dog feces. Holy shit, dude. Literally. With a post-it note saying, "You're the shit." I honestly think it's a troll from Twitter that doesn't agree with my recent post/political leanings and who I align myself with in this industry. I've contacted the Postmaster General, but it's time to stand up, boys. We don't have to take this type of abuse. Well, you're always going to run into critics, Dunny.
Yeah.
It's inevitable.
I wonder if someone pooped or put dog crap on.
You hope it's dog crap.
Yeah. And we'll post them that says you're the shit. First of all,
that's not a demeaning thing, though, to call somebody the shit.
Yeah.
Now, if you called him a shit, or if you're full of shit,
yeah,
that would be different. I watched that making of swear words on Netflix. Yeah.
I will say, you probably did the right way by contacting the Postmaster General. Let them know that you received some mail that was covered in fecal matter.
Yeah.
I think that's illegal to send through the mail.
I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah. Let's hope he put his return address on it.
Yeah.
But sadly, you're always going to run into these brain dead idiots that don't have an open mind, or quite frankly, don't care about who the creator is voted for, or whatever the leanings are, and it's just looking for decent, good comics. That's what we're here for, is to promote good comics, not to promote somebody's political leanings.
And you definitely want to call the postmaster. Let him know.
You do.
Someone sent me this, and it's poop today. Who knows what'll be tomorrow? Yeah, it's still hazardous material. Yeah, it needs to be,
because they ask them when they send it.
What are you sending?
And if they lied to him, that's a federal offense, isn't it?
I'm sending a comic book caked in shit. I'm
sending it to a guy because he's the shit.
Yeah.
What? You keep the book if he's the shit.
Yeah.
Idiot. What an idiot to do that, though, to send a book.
I mean, he could have done something classy, like make a YouTube video of himself burning the book in his yard or something.
That's my book.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
He could. I just got sent this. I'll put it up. He could have. Maybe this is the book here.
And just remember, Dunny, he still paid for your book, and he paid for postage twice in order to get it back to you.
Or you can send him back this book.
There you go. You could do that too.
Yeah. Anybody listen on Invoke Radio? You have to come over. You have to come over to YouTube to see it. Yeah. That's horrible. That's horrible. All right, let's move on to the next question here. All right. Randy, this is the one I promised you we were going to have on the show.
Oh, goody. Here we go. He doesn't tell me what the questions are in advance very often, but he had to tell me this one.
Yeah.
JT, buddy.
And this is the theme of today's show.
Remember, folks, we're TVMA DLSV. All right. Yeah. I got fucked lovingly hard by my form. How do you get fucked lovingly hard? He got fucked hard, not tenderly. He got fucked hard by my former friend, removed, who stole my idea and is now presenting it as a comic he and his cousin co-created. Well, that's not the question that you told me about.
That one's coming up. This is the other one.
Is it? Okay. Yeah. I've got half of mine to strap up and ventilate the both of them. Dude, you don't want to say that out in the open. It's literally an idea I've worked on since I was 15. I'm 34 now and feel empty inside. Not just for the theft of my idea, but the opportunities it would have provided me and mine, JT. JT, buddy, I feel you. I've had it happen to me. But you don't want to strap up over funny books, dude. It's not worth it. It's not worth the time that you'll end up doing.
Yeah, create something better. And
you created it when you're 15. You're 34 now. You've got twice as much experience and knowledge, hopefully, in the market. Yeah. You ought to be able to kick out something that's twice as awesome. So do that.
JT, I know how you feel. I haven't had a comic idea stolen from me yet. I keep living though. Other ideas, but you know what? That situation kind of is why I've started to create in the vacuum. Yeah. And it sucks because I love to talk to other people about my ideas and bounce off ideas. Me and Eric have gone a lot of road trips to conventions all over the country, and we'll bounce each other's comic book ideas off of each other. No, I don't have to worry about Eric stealing them. I don't have to worry about that. And he has to concentrate about me taking his ideas, but no, we bounce ideas off each other. And if you can find like a small group, but I mean, this is your cousin. Oh, was it just cousin? A former friend.
Former friend and cousin and his cousin.
Yeah. So I mean, I would
what dicks?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry that happened to you, but look, it happens in this industry. People steal all the time. And some of them, some of them they will gladly say, "Hey, I took this idea from Michael Owen. I got this idea from him, so I did it in my comic." Where the others are like, "I'm taking this whole idea. I got Dinosaur Man. He's got blue head instead. He's called he's called Raptor Guy now, and he has a blue head and a red tongue, and yeah,
Call me
the Ravager. Yeah, that might get sued by Marvel. I think
Also, JT, keep in mind that everybody's interpretation of a work is completely different from everyone else's.
Mhm.
That's also part of the fun of alternative and independent comics. Just create something better, and take, ignore them, watch them fail, celebrate, dance on their grave, and then but do better and get that idea out there and in front of everybody so that you can provide for you and yours.
When I dance on the grave of my enemies, usually a Tootsie Roll, followed by a little Cabbage Patch.
I still have to buy a straw hat and cane.
What did you say, Lola?
Send them the mail with shit on it.
Yeah, send them that comic covered in shit. There you go.
No, don't do that either, because that's wrong. You don't want to encourage that. That's the type. Postal postage prices are high enough. You don't want to spend any more money on this shit.
I know.
On the shit, you said it.
Shit, literally. Yeah.
I think that Eric, what do you think about that, man? I mean, can you understand his rage wanting to go shoot people?
Oh yeah, sure. Because we create things and they end up where they're like our children.
Yes.
So it's almost like getting your child stolen. But
yeah.
I mean, to Randy's earlier point, he was 15 when he put it together. Everything I created when I was 15, I would really want to sit down and really work it over as a 42-year-old. So the best thing to do is create something new and kick their ass in the marketplace.
Yeah.
I have a superhero team I created when I was 15. I sent it around to everybody. Got some nice rejection letters. I still haven't done anything with it.
I'll tell you,
it's a solid idea too, which I might end up bringing back and, like you said, go over it and do something with it.
One thing that happened to me is I wrote into to Playmates during the Ninja Turtle era, and I had drawn a schematic.
I was thinking of different Playmates, but go ahead.
I had drawn a schematic for a pizza stand that would shoot pizzas, and they sent me back this kind rejection letter. A year later, the dang thing came out. The pizza shooter thing.
Yeah. See, I'm telling you. JT, try this. Try creating in a vacuum. It's gonna be hard. Try creating yourself. And the other thing too is this, JT, your show or your comic is your comic. At some point, they're not gonna have your ideas.
Yes.
So it's still not gonna be what you created.
Yeah. It's not gonna be your execution. It's not gonna be your version of the character, no matter how much they've siphoned off of you.
Yeah.
You'll find idiot swipers like this are never very creative, so they're not going to be around for long. So, like I said, just bide your time, dance on their grave, create something better.
Do the Tootsie Roll. Let me see you do the shoot that Dunez are doing. I can't do it because I'm handicapped, but yeah. I can twerk. I can't twerk. Matter of fact, I'm twerking special twerk episode this Friday of Invoke.
I got that visual stuff.
He's twerking in his chair right now.
Yeah. I actually used to make it clap and he used to gross Lola out.
He can. That's a fact.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here.
Poor Eric.
Yeah. All right. Here we go, Randy.
I've seen his pants falling down before, so it's an informed visual, and I'm not happy with it.
You're not a dish. You're a man.
Don't forget.
You know what? Let me see if I can find this. There is I was watching a show today with Lola. And I want to show this, and I thought Randy will love this.
What kind of show?
But I think you guys all love this. I'm only gonna play like 7 seconds of it. Actually, I'll play maybe 10 seconds of it. All right, here we go. And I want you guys to see this and Randy, tell me if this is an adequate representation of what happened a couple months ago. Okay.
All right.
Here we go.
From the 100.
Are you ready?
Yeah. We need sound.
Oh, we don't have sound. We don't have sound. Okay. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
So you might want to be careful if there's music on that. So.
I thought we had sound. Give me 1 second. All right. There's no music, but here we go. Are you guys ready? Here we go.
Pencils down.
Jesus Christ. That needs to be clipped.
she loads a clip into him and pencils down.
When was that made?
I don't know when that.
Is that some CW show or?
Yeah, it is. The 100. Yeah.
It's sci-fi.
Is it? The 100 is CW.
Is it CW? Okay. All right.
But it's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's on Netflix right now.
Almost the same people.
Yeah.
Almost the same quality.
Pencils down.
Pencils down.
Yeah, we'll be clipping that. That'll be added to the show.
Need to. Yeah.
Saying that you can still carve out your own take of an idea. Yeah. Exactly. Sideburns.
Sorry, here's the first part of it.
Oh, nothing is original. Also, hi. Hey, Sideburns. How's it going? How are you?
Sideburns.
Yeah. Okay. So that makes it. Yeah, saying that you can still carve out yours.
Or is that slide burns?
Sideburns.
Sideburns. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Here we go, Randy. All right. Here we go. Cover your fragile ears, Eric. This one is spicy.
Remember, folks, we are TVMA DLSV. K, buddy. My name is removed.
Mm-hmm.
I thought
And
it was
I'm writing,
K.
it's K. And I'm writing because I want to bring attention to my wife, also removed, my wife's various affairs with members of our creative team at Removed Comics. We got 2 active campaigns going. One is Kickstarter, another on Indiegogo, and I don't want to work with any of these. Removed. Obviously, that must have been an expletive.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah.
We can substitute the word kids. Yeah. I don't want to work with any of these. Again, what should I do? How do I distance myself from the project and protect my image as a publisher? K, if you are the publisher, stop the campaigns. Dead. Yank them. If you're, and however much control you are, this is what we were talking about before, about creating in a vacuum. You need to create that nice long vacuum around you, and you need to get away. You need to run.
Mm-hmm.
You need to run and run. You need to file papers. You need to do whatever you have to do. Your life's going to be in turmoil for a few months, but you will be so much better off when you create as wide a gap between those
individuals
and yourself.
Yep, and find a good divorce lawyer.
A great divorce lawyer.
Yeah.
She's working her way through the creative team. And I know a little bit of specifics. I removed the name of his comic company. I removed his name and his wife's name because Kay, you don't want that type of attention.
And again, how many members of his creative team? Is she like going down the list?
3.
Yeah,
the artist, the inker, and the letterer.
Oh, so she has yet to work on the colorist.
Yeah, basically, yeah. She has it.
That's the last one on that list for her to check off.
Well, you got editors too.
Oh, editor. Well, that's if he has an editor. Who knows? But Kay, you need to run. You do. You just need to cut everybody off. You're the publisher. You're the guy in charge. Stop the campaigns and walk.
It'll be a lot easier to stop that Kickstarter campaign that will that Indiegogo because I think you can still stop it and return the money though.
Well, you need to protect your money as fast as possible as well. And that includes the Indiegogo money. You need to stop the campaign. You need to call Indiegogo. You need to withdraw as far and as fast and as quick as you can and just run. And that's like yesterday. You need to do that. Just stop and run. If you have offices, get out of the lease, stop the company,
change the locks.
Change the locks unless you have more titles going on.
Now, full disclosure to everyone watching, I let Randy know about this yesterday because I wanted to ask Randy if I should run this question or this situation.
I'm sure this situation happens. We used to hear all sorts of gossip line about the pros and the mainstream stealing each other's wives.
Yeah, And the thing was, Randy said, "Hey, email him back immediately." So I wrote him a letter, verbatim what Randy said, and sent it back to him. And I did hear back from Kay. He thanked us for the help. He said he didn't even consider stopping the campaigns.
No, he's got to stop the campaign.
Oh, he hadn't considered it, but now he is. He's going to stop the campaigns today. They all had days left on them. He's stopping the campaigns. He's gonna go back and start over there. And until he did tell me he was hurt because of course he was get trusted.
Hell yeah.
He thought having a local team would benefit him, but
it benefited his wife apparently.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry that was in poor taste, but that's what it was. And he needs to cut the wife out too.
Yeah.
Automatically, you need to run. You need to if you're in charge of that house, you need to change the locks immediately.
Can he send her?
I hope you don't have kids. I hope there's not kids involved in this mess.
Can he send her a poop filled Gemini?
No, not legally.
No,
illegal.
No, when you're the guy in a divorce situation, you need to be above board at all costs.
But you also need to protect yourself as quickly as possible. That means anything that she can access, you need to access first and remove. Done.
Yep. And
just that way you're protected. You're going to lose half of it in the divorce settlement anyway. Just plan on that. And it's a short-term hit for long-term happiness. Okay? I went through a divorce. I had a first wife. I did, and it was comics that broke us up. Not like this, but she couldn't. It took me forever to get a story done, and it literally cost us a marriage because I was concentrating on the work and not concentrating on her.
I wonder though, when situations change during a campaign like this, it probably is best to stop the campaign, no matter if it's
absolutely stop the campaign.
The divorce of a team, the divorce of a relationship, just stop the campaign, get out. The people will forgive you for that because they got their money back.
And the big thing here, Kay, is to be the better man. Be the man of the higher values. Be the man that divorce yourself from everybody that's involved with this mess. Make as much distance as possible. If you're in a state where you have to wait, if you have children involved, and I hope there's not kids involved, that wait it out on your own. No communication, strictly through lawyers. Keep as far distance from them as possible because any little thing, all of a sudden your emotions are going to be frayed and any little thing's going to set you off. And you don't need that type of aggravation, that type of bullshit in your life. Obviously, you just need to cut all that crap out, have nothing to do with them, set up your own life somewhere. If you can move. If you can't move, and you're tied into a house or whatever belongings are, make sure you secure what's yours and expect to lose half of it in the divorce. So that's the best thing I can tell you, but definitely stop the campaign because quite frankly, these guys deserve it.
I know a creator who's
somebody should have had enough sense, and maybe your colorist did, to say no.
Yeah.
And no, I don't do that to friends' wives. No.
Yeah. I know a creator who has to split the income of his project with his wife, his ex-wife, because he made it while they were married, even though she had nothing to do with it. So it's like in perpetuity, he's having to pay her. John Martin says he won't lose half if he can prove that she got gorilla milk from 3 members of the creative team. She will get nothing.
Certain states work like that, John. Certain other states don't. Here in Michigan, they don't. It's like a freaking car insurance. There's a no-fault divorce, and you're going to end up losing half regardless.
Mm-hmm. John, just get away, like we said. Yeah. And John was like, hey,
yeah.
And I'm glad you took our advice. He did say he stopped the campaigns today. So that's good. A big part of the creative battle. The campaigns have been stopped. You're gonna have to watch your back, make sure they don't try to resolicit the, You
can even send notes out, email notices, and say the campaigns were stopped due to personal reasons. You don't have to get into detail.
No.
You don't have to say my wife's a slut.
No.
You don't have to say that. Just walk.
Just am I creating
the campaign due to personal complications? The campaigns are canceled. Sorry, we'll pick this up again with a new art team sometime soon.
My friends ain't shit. That's what you say. Here we go. Here's another one. To get blood.
And next time there's nothing there. There's all of the advantage of having local talent on your books. You just came across a very unfortunate and bad, uncalled for circumstance. And I feel you. I feel very sorry for you. I know you're going to get through this, and just bear with it. And you'll find out. You know that the old saying goes, you know why divorce is so expensive? It's because it's worth
it. I sent also Randy. I want to put this question up here for you guys. This is something that was sent to me today. You guys check this out. Let me know what you think. I sent it to Daphne Lage to just trigger.
Oh,
unfortunately, she has. I don't think she's read it yet, but
or maybe she has, and she just doesn't want
she remains yet untriggered.
Yeah. Here we go. We're calling this "Say What."
Say what?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
a good critic always puts more into writing about artwork than the artist put into making it. Okay, yeah. The artist only creates. The critic must plumb that creation and also write creatively enough to deliver the full volume of the art while also creating a thing of beauty and clarity itself.
Hello, I am completely irrelevant in my industry. I need to be validated. Here's my statement.
Dumbass. That's what John Martin said. Fucking dumb.
Please don't contact this person. I blinked out their name, but if you've seen it, don't contact this person.
Oh yeah, you should have bleeped out the face too, because that icon will be easy to spot. So, but dude, it's easier to tear down than it is to build up. That's all that's really the point of this. And all you're doing as a critic when you're attacking somebody's work is tearing it down.
Mm-hmm.
So screw you. You know, and your opinion is fault. Your logic is horribly flawed. You're thinking way too much of your job, dude.
Well, this person is obviously part of the narcissist culture.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry to say that there's a lot of them out there.
Yep.
The critic must plumb that creation and also write creatively enough to deliver the full volume of the art. Where? What are you talking about? You're not clear here at all. What do you got to do? You don't. Hopefully, I hope you do write creatively, but thinking like that doesn't keep your job very long.
Yeah,
you know.
And he has to create a thing of beauty and clarity itself. Let me tell you something. You know, for some reason I read this in John Malkovich's
Look for some negative critiques of Revolt coming soon. As soon as we release it.
I read this in John Malkovich's voice for some reason. I don't know why. It's just he doesn't look like John Malkovich. I just read it in his voice. Yeah,
it sounds whiny. A good critic puts more into writing about art than the artist puts into making it. The artist only creates. He only creates. The art. That's chicken egg thing, dude. You got to have the work there before you can tear it down. So.
This guy probably got a bad criticism on his criticism, or maybe he lost a job. he's gonna virtue signal his own self.
Could be.
Mark Brooks John Martin says Mark Brooks posted this early this morning. Someone was giving updates of the lashing this guy got all day long. I've never seen someone try to backpedal so fast in my life.
Hey y'all,
Agency Studios. Hey sir, how's it going? Did you want a link in here, Joe? And we got to send Mike Roden one as well.
Jared Comic Con says idiot. There has been a few people on Twitter who have picked on this guy. Well. You put crap like that out into the open market, you're going to have to expect somebody to plumb you back in return.
I've been plumbed.
I'd say he's probably been plumbed quite a bit. Just like what's his name in the pie. Stuck in a thumb.
Yeah. Was that Little Jack Horn? No, it's not. I don't know who that was. Jessica Biel will name her son Batmo. No. We're not. I mean, cool.
That's sad. That's dad humor there. See, and by sad, I mean that's funny. Funny. That's great.
So yeah, I mean, again, don't harass this person online. I mean, I know a lot of you probably already have. Not in our name though, but it's just really funny that he would come out with this criticism of artists.
He's probably, his butt's probably hurting enough.
Yeah. He might have canceled his Twitter,
but he's been multiply plumbed.
Yeah, this is one of those things. You put yourself out there, just nuke your Twitter. Come on.
Yes, you're begging for it. Who does that?
Go away.
Talk about people not thinking. you know. Yeah, hey, why don't attack me, please?
Nita says he was right for the picking, asshole. Yeah.
Yes. I think he was doing a little begging there.
Yeah. It's
Maybe he enjoys being plumbed. I have no idea.
yeah, he apparently does. He enjoys being plumbed.
He must if he feels he has to do that.
Yeah, he's
and write creatively enough to deliver a full volume of the art. The full volume of the art. While also creating a thing of beauty and clarity itself. Yeah, he thinks a lot of his writing, that's for sure.
Yeah, because I've read some criticisms of stuff. I'm like,
So
yes, you got. Okay.
So to follow this guy's logic, art doesn't have any substance unless some asshole has an idiotic, stupid opinion about it.
Yeah. That's basically what he's saying. It doesn't exist unless he can plumb it.
Well, let me ask you guys this: Do you care more when a fellow creative who does the same thing as you on a level that you think is comparable to yours critiques it versus somebody who's only a critic?
Oh, absolutely. Somebody who's only a critic basically shouldn't have a job.
Yeah, well,
Eric Hotz can reach the dreaded dinosaur at gmail.com.
Especially when you've been in this business for a long time and you get some nubile idiot. Well, nubile's wrong word. Newbie idiot. Some newbie idiot who doesn't know what he's talking about to come up and try to tear down your work just to try to make himself look better. That's to me, that's Twitter trolling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So why, if you're getting paid for that, holy crap, what do you, you got somebody's wool pulled over their eyes to actually pay you to do something like that.
Yeah.
Now, if you're sitting there and logically and with a voice of experience and knowledge, talking about the work and what's good and bad about the work, that's a whole different matter. That's stuff you can learn from. Because
Absolutely.
As a prime example, Steve Rude posted a note about he sent Alex Toth a Johnny Quest story, and Alex just ripped him hard, just incredibly hard. But it was the best. He said it was the best learning experience he ever had. And it was like, what are you doing this for? This sucks. This is terrible. Why are you putting this person? That's unnecessary. What are you doing that for? Just just a whole letter, panel by panel, just hardcore a critique. And he was so he took it as criticism from a master, which is what it was. And he was so proud of it that he posted it along with the story and said he was absolutely right. Everything that he said here was, and it was probably a harder critique than what this guy has ever done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's so hard to find genuine critique nowadays anyway.
Oh yeah.
Because
it's like looking for a good editor.
Yeah. The culture that we live in, the cancel culture and all this other shellacking on Twitter and all that. So it's impossible to get good, honest critique. And if you want to grow as a creator, you need that good, honest critique. You need someone to tell you that your baby is ugly and to stop showing pictures of it until you fix the thing.
Yeah.
I wrote a editorial in Invoke about a year ago, 2 years ago, about I called it I seen better from you, and it's a quick to tell when my father did that to me over my art. He said, "I've seen better from you," and it pissed me off because I thought to date that was a masterpiece. I was like, "What is he talking about?" And I went in the room, I changed stuff around, brought it back. Nah, still not good. You could do better. You're phoning this in. And it really pissed me off. And he told me years later, he was like, I did that because you were about to get complacent. You were going to stick where you were. You were going to grow artistically. You were going to try to figure out things. You thought you were the shit. And I needed to hear that. And it actually made my skin a lot tougher. Then some old guy comes along years later and tells me I can't draw feathers. And took me off project for years.
And I meant that constructive. I didn't mean that to be crippling.
Yeah, but he did. And it actually worked out. And he was right. He was
never heard.
Oh.
He broke his mic.
Yeah. He's muted.
He's been silenced.
Yeah.
So we never heard the end of it either.
No. But he's right. And now I went back. Yeah, I learned how to draw feathers. I believe it was Stitch sent me a feather, a nice feather documentary. Not feather, write up too about how to draw feathers.
Yeah, but he did it out of love.
Oh yeah, it was out of love. I used it actually. I'm like, all right, I kept it. I actually got it saved in my computer. So if I got to bring it up.
And to rib you a little bit. Yeah.
Trish says, how was the con, Eric? We're going to get to that. But first, another feature we're going to bring into the show lately, or starting to bring into the show, is the end is nigh. These are Kickstarters and Indiegogo campaigns that you may have missed that you need to check out. And you only got a couple days left to get in there. And we're going to look at 3 of them today. The Compendium of Dread from Meredith Waldman. At the time this graphic was made, she was at $1,053. That book comes on Kickstarter January 28th, 2021. So a couple days. Today's the 26th. So
ends in 2 days. Yeah.
Ends in 2 days. Teen Beetle from Silverline, which is a flip book. That's what Randy calls them, flip books. It's got another story on the back. I'm not sure of the other story. I forget what it was, but that ends on the 31st. And then of course, Daphne Lage, who you can usually find on Indie Volt's Geekgasm show. Her campaign for Ego Raven is ending on the 3rd of February. So you got a couple days to get in there and back those campaigns because the end is nigh. It's close. Yeah. And we want to do this on every show, on every Indie Vote Live Wire. Just remind people they got a couple days. If you want your book in there, let us know. I'm gonna try to do like 3 to 4 of them, maybe 5. Right when they're getting ready to close, if I know about them in advance. So this is the first rollout of The End Is Nigh.
Yeah, and these are people that we've had on the show before. They've talked about their books. We've had them on a few times talking about their campaigns, and we feel they're worth your checking out and making sure if you're not in on them yet to look them over and decide whether or not you want to be part of that campaign.
Mm-hmm. Is there a waterfall behind you, Joe?
Bringing the snow is Joe D. McPhee.
Mm-hmm.
Your microphone is super loud.
Let me turn that down then.
I think it's the gain.
What game?
The gain. G-A-I.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Not the gay. What?
So check those out. Also, Indie Vote Radio numbers right now. Want to thank you guys, 62,900. Thank you guys for listening. Want to thank Australia, Ireland, New Zealand, and it looks like we got Egypt back in the house. Thank you guys for listening.
Well, right now, Northern Ireland's under a hard lockdown, so
yeah,
we really feel for you
guys
over there. Be safe and be healthy. So,
John Martin says, "Make your silver line." Yeah, tell Roland I'm gonna need a check.
tell Roland he needs to come on more often.
I'm gonna need a check over here sent over. Also on Indie Vote, Miss Lola is she is the editor-in-chief over at indievote.com, and she talked about she wanted to do a book of the week, and she premiered that this week, and this week's book is Shadow of the Kraken. Shadow of the Kraken. And it is on indievote.com. You want to go over there and check it out. Check out the write up about it. It's coming off. It's got 8 days left currently too. So nice artwork. I like.
That looks awesome. Look at that
pirate booty.
Pirate booty, literally.
Yeah. Check that out too when you get a chance. That's called Shadow of the Kraken.
That's a double booty panel.
Yeah. Can't get enough booty. So let's ask. We got Trish asking, how was the con? Eric talked a bit about it, but let's talk about it again. You were in South Florida.
Well, before we do that, before we talk about the con, we should probably have Joe introduce himself.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Joe. Introduce yourself.
Oh, I'm Joe D. McPhee. I'm president of CGC Studios, creator of Amazonia, AWF, and Primetime Saturday Night.
Yeah, you can still probably cut your microphone down just a little bit, as long as you're in that position.
I just found out that Joe has a Greg Horn cover on a book.
Yeah, 2, he says.
2.
Wow.
Yes.
2. Joe, we're gonna talk about that later on. We're gonna talk about that later on. I just want to know how come you couldn't spread some of that wealth around. Do you have dirt on Greg? Is that how you did it? You have dirt on him? You told him, hey, these pictures don't come out. You don't, if you give me that cover.
No, actually, I was a big fan of his, bought a lot of artwork, and he was there when I was still lower. Hold on.
It's just a couple points, not very far.
It's just
This is probably the closest you've been to your microphone in months. When you've been on the show. Usually we only see the top of your head.
Let me see if I can do something here. Hold on. Let me see here. How's that?
Okay, is that better?
Much better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's great. All right. So yeah, you were a fan of Greg's, and you were.
I was a fan of Greg's, and he was there when I first started publishing comics.
Okay.
So he was there. He saw my progression, and it just so happened that him and I had a love for wrestling, primarily for things like WWE, Glow, and stuff like that. And when I came out with AWF, he was like, "Hey, I might actually want to, do a cover or two." So I asked him, it's like, well, how much he would charge, this, that, and the other. He gave me a price. We made it happen.
That's cool.
Me and Eric have a love for wrestling. Here's the problem, though. We have a love in that we hate it. We watch it. We're like, why are we watching this? Why we do this to ourselves every week? Eric will tell you, like, we've had discussions like, who's writing this? Who's writing this? What? Why? I mean, Eric, you've done so much stuff for High Spots, and stuff for other artists. I think there might be time for you to get one of those AWF covers for Joe. We can make that happen. We'll make that happen.
Yeah, we'll make it happen.
I just need to be in the crowd. That's all. In fact, Eric did the Rider Piper comic from Mess Bucket Comics. That's over on High Spots too, right? Is that at High Spots or?
No, that was for Pro Wrestling Tees.
And it's Eric put a lot of people in the book that he's known. So there's like these little cameos of people. And there's there's a street with a very cool name in the book. There it is. Roddy Piper, the Kilted Avenger. And Piper, someone I did much like as far as wrestling goes, a wrestler that I did not fully appreciate until like the last few years of his life. Because I used to piss me off, but now he's I'm sorry.
Why is that?
He was always the bad guy in plots that I was watching. And
he was Stone Cold before Stone Cold was Stone Cold.
Right. He wasn't Hulk Hogan, so I used to be like, yeah, baby. But I do remember he was taking TV time for my beloved Sting at one point. And if you guys can ever go on, that's cool. If you guys ever go on YouTube, they were here in Michigan, and Piper's out talking to the Palace of Auburn Hills. He's out in the crowd, and the WCW was losing, like they didn't have good attendance, and so you could buy a seat anywhere, and they would force you down into basically the TV side. So they had a packed arena. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm there with my friend, and Piper's out there talking, and WCW crowds weren't very responsive. Like I could never got with this in a WWE event, but the arena's quiet and Piper's talking. He finishes saying something, and it was about Sting, and I said, "Shut up!" And it's audible. You can hear it. I came home and watched it, and you can hear me in the background scream, "Shut up!" Very cool. So anyway,
hilarious.
Eric, you were down there and in Florida. You got no tan. I don't understand what happened. You stayed out of the sun apparently. You were at Otaku Fest.
Yes, Otaku Fest, Florida, in Miami, right off the airport. In fact, It was about 2.5 miles at an airport adjacent hotel, the DoubleTree. It also has a convention center, a little mini mall, so I didn't have to venture out at all. I took a shuttle to it, stayed there the whole time, ate there the whole time, took a shuttle back. It was wonderful. Great little show. Had a really good audience, really good crowd. It was run very well. It was a very safe, very COVID attentive thing. They did temperature checks at the door. We had rules in place where if you had a temperature of 100.4 or more, you and your entire group you're with, if you're with a group, couldn't get in. Everybody was wearing masks. Everybody was polite. Everybody was just happy to be there, genuinely happy to be there. And except for maybe the people around me, because I think I sucked some of their money out of the room. But it was a great time. Everybody had smiles on their face. The girl next to me was her first con ever, and so I had she was asking me and peppering me a bunch of questions. Had a good time chatting her up and listening to my anime theme playlist all weekend. It filled the room with music and just a great time. People enjoying something that they haven't been able to enjoy in a long time, and there was no reason to not be doing it in every other state in the union.
I seen oh gosh, I forget the young lady's name. She covers wrestling events. She was a guest. Forget her name. But I remember years ago seeing her and saying, if I wasn't married, I could marry that. Yeah. Here's not that cover that Joe had.
That's one. That's the issue 3 that's currently out there as of right now on the market. And I have issue number 5, which we're still working on.
Yeah, I like
Very
that.
cool.
Yeah. Very nice having the Greg Horn cover. Could be, people always get Greg Horn and Greg Land confused. I'm pretty sure Greg doesn't like that, but they get them confused.
Either one, probably.
Yeah. But yeah, so Eric did really well at the show, and I was saying, what book is that again? My hubby loves wrestling, always loves spoiling, and I love spoiling.
Okay, it's AWF, but if he loves pro wrestling, he loves the WWE type stuff. He wants to pick up Primetime Saturday Night as opposed to AWF, because AWF deals more with the behind the scenes, while the Primetime Saturday Night is the actual WWE broadcast of the wrestling.
And Trish might have been talking about the Kilted Avenger book too.
Okay, yeah. And then there's Roddy Piper, the Kilted Avenger. We got some links in there. Roddy Piper, the Kilted Avenger. Get it at prowrestlingtees.com. And everyone says it. So does Indie Princess, and so does
I just typed it into the comments thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you can check that out. AWF at CGCstudios.com and then prowrestlingtees.com. But Eric, they can contact you for that book too, can't they?
If they want. But I really want people to buy it from them, because then we'll get to reorder the book.
Okay. Yeah. So you can go to prowrestlingtees.com, pick that book up. Joe, you were watching, you heard some of the questions we asked. Have you had any ideas stolen?
No, I've been careful about that, but that's the reason why I wanted to tune in, because I was like, who got their ideas stolen, and how much of the idea was stolen, because that's getting into that gray area.
All my shit gets stolen around here. No, I will say this, as far as my comic book ideas, I don't think any of that's ever been straight up stolen, because I generally keep that kind of secret and close to the chest. Things on Indie Vault, things with what did you say, Lola? I'm sorry. Yeah, Lola's book almost got stolen, but
really?
Yeah, her book almost got stolen, but some of the concepts and things she played with, she was a little talkative about what she wanted to do, and she noticed some of her stuff kind of got like lifted and found its way. Yeah, and found its way into other publications. So she was again, another Daphne, where she was tight about that for a while.
Right. But that's the thing. Concepts can be duplicated, but only you can really bring out what you have intended.
Yeah,
I had other people lift like the surface of a concept, but they didn't develop it.
Yeah.
And because they didn't develop it, it still allowed my stuff to shine the way it's supposed to.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, and I talked about it, and this creating in this vacuum, it is for me, it's very hard, because we announced this week, Invoke Studios.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a very quick thing, had to be done. And I was kind of freaking out about it, because I knew I had to come up with this logo. I did not have long. I had basically a couple hours to do this logo. And I came up with 2 ideas for the logo. And because I like to bounce ideas off other people, I think that everyone who is a creator wants to do that. like being able to say, hey, what do you think of this? And get some feedback, I had 2 logo versions, but I had no one to bounce the idea of. Lola was asleep. No one was on Facebook that I, felt I could reach out to and ask them. So originally we ended up going with this logo, the Invoke Studios logo, and it's very close to, the regular, Invoke logo. It's very brand on model for the brand. The other version was this one, and you can't even really see it because it was this one.
The black lettering, no, it's like that just drowns.
And so it was, I could have changed the color of the lettering, but it was just like, I didn't have anybody to bounce the idea off of. And so, but it's, it is that creating in a vacuum that can kind of keep your ideas from being stolen. Now, if you got a good idea, someone else is going to take it. They are.
I'd have told you to run with the first one.
Yeah. Someone's going to take that idea. Someone's going to jump in and say, oh, I like what you're doing. But here's the thing. It's about quality.
Yes,
someone
it is.
Take your idea and go run in and run it in the ground. Yeah, Pixel says, ping me sometimes. I'm awake all the time. Yeah, and Pixel is, I've actually reached out to Pixel before late at night and said, I'll talk to him in the morning. And he responds quick. And I'm like, the shit?
Pixel, I just sent you a link too. Come on in and talk to us.
Heck yeah.
Does anybody want to sneak peek at the intro for Invoke Studios?
Why not?
Why not?
Do it.
Why not? Go ahead.
I'm loading it up now. Then I'll load it up and then you
roll that beautiful bean footage.
Yeah.
Here we go. There you go. Yeah.
There you go.
Very to the point. There's a different one for original series and a different one for just documentary. But 3 different versions, so you kind of know what you're going to be watching. But those are all, everything Invoke Studios does for right now is going to be pretty much exclusive to Invoke TV.
Arian, are you drowning?
You're getting muffled.
Me?
Yeah, you.
No, I don't know why.
See, my mic was too loud, and now he's getting muffled.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now you're back to normal.
All right. Just, and we're growing as a network. We're doing a lot of cool things. This summer is going to be a blast, and we'll be very tired, but it's going to be a blast, and I'm looking forward to it. There's some stuff that films that we had wrote that I'm like, we'll do this at some point, and now having this ability and having the funding to go do those things, it's gonna open some it's gonna open some doors, and hopefully you guys will be along for the ride to enjoy that on Invoke TV. Who knows? Sooner or later we'll be doing the Joe McPhee biopic.
Thank you, Pixel, for the donation.
There's a donation? What?
Pixel donated $1.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Thank you, Pixel. Thank you. But yeah, there's so much creativity out here to be tapped into. But people will steal your idea. They will steal your ideas. They will steal your concepts. And the thing is, though, if it's a concept that you created out of love, that person who took it might not have the same type of love for it. So it's just gonna dry up of whatever they're doing.
Pixel says the message was just the tip.
The closest thing I have ever gotten stolen was an actual script. Somebody would try to walk away with an actual script from one of the Amazonia issues, one of the earlier Amazonia issues, saying it's like, they was interested, they was looking through it, this, that, and the other. It's like, this is interesting, is it okay that it's like, nope, you can't take it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. I don't care if you're an executive or anything. No, you can't take it.
Why does that happen, though, mainly in our industry? Is it just that we got a bunch of uncreative, uncouth idiots here running around? It's like, I know people steal in the movies. I know people steal in, novels, but I just keep hearing about it. Hey, this guy took my idea.
We have a third-party opinion on this.
Oh, okay.
What the fuck is the matter with people in this business?
It's if someone comes up to me, we had someone steal the Indie Vote name. they're running around here calling themselves IndieVolt.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you doing? And you know, it's sad when people do that because they knew exactly what they were doing. They
Yeah.
looked me up. They knew about IndieVolt.
Yes, Mr. Sampson, it does. But I still don't allow people to walk off with anything that's physically on paper. I don't care, even though it was copyrighted. I don't care. You can't walk away with it. No.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people. I mean, just if
you have a certain amount of people out there who really have no creativity. They think they do, but they don't. So any little whisper in their ear of an idea, they decide, oh, that's a great idea. I'm gonna do that, and they steal that idea.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it happen all the time in this business, especially if anybody smells that they can make a buck off of it.
Speaking of an idea, I'm going to steal. Michael Owen is here with the
What's
Embrace.
up, guys?
Michael, what's up?
Introduce yourself, Michael.
I'm Michael Oden. I am the creator and writer of Elysian Fields and the upcoming project, The Embrace. And I just figured I'd come hang out tonight. We had a whole bunch of stuff go on today.
Yeah, your Kickstarter closed.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and I'll rip the Band-Aid off. $90 short from where you want it to be.
Yeah.
Now,
it was rough.
Mhm.
But I appreciate everyone that came out and supported. And for everyone that did, we are offering a way for those backers to still get the book. It effectively what I'm doing is I have provided my PayPal information, and they send me their pledge amount, what they were hoping to get, and then I will be sending them an invoice and creating a spreadsheet so that way I can do their fulfillment alongside my Indiegogos when the books get here.
So I gotta be a professional interviewer here today, Michael. I mean, you've had great success with the first Elysian Field, Pyramid Gambit. I mean, now you've had it on Indiegogo. This was the Kickstarter, right?
Yes.
Now, and again, $9 for sure. We want to be. What do you think went wrong?
Well, there were a whole bunch of factors on things. I think, one of the biggest things that unfortunately life got in the way. I've been pretty open about this, but I was going through a lot of personal stuff, and there was even a point where I was considering canceling the Kickstarter before the Indiegogo closed. I was going to try it again later. But then I went to go. I hadn't looked at it in a minute because I've been dealing with so much stuff, and I honestly was just emotionally and physically exhausted with everything that I kind of tuned out. But then when I went to go back to the Kickstarter, we had like 40 days left, and we had a solid amount of people on there. And it raised already $600. And that was a whole thing. I was like, well, all right, well, we have 40 days. Yes, it's going to be tough because we have to effectively rebuild all the hype that we had going in while the campaign is going. But, I felt like we could rise to the challenge. And, for the most part, we did. We were right there. And in fact, I got messages from several people that were like, I was in the middle of making a pledge right as it timed out. And so it's one of those things where, unfortunately, this is a circumstance of, you shouldn't be putting a campaign out there unless you've got all your ducks in a row. And, I thought I had all of mine, but, sometimes life just throws you curveballs. And you need to know when to, be like, all right, I need to step back from something. But, that was the whole thing is I wanted, when I saw that we had that much support already, I didn't want those people to feel like I was just backing out.
I see Pixel said, what went wrong? No indie crime listening. He says he's joking, but he's bummed he couldn't help more. Yeah, it does suck when you see somebody that who's come on your show frequently not hit that point. 2,500 wasn't like you're asking for a lot of money. I mean, let's be honest. So this was to get the statues though made.
Well, this one, no, like I did the statue as a like effectively the little bit of money I had left over from the Zero issue that didn't go in to making the Pyramid Gambit that I had kept for myself. I had kept in a little piggy bank, and I used that to make that statue, and then we were going. I wanted to have it as the thing available for people if that was something that would sell. And we had a lot of interest in it, but I think that again it's one of those things where 800 is a lot to ask, especially for as a tier for a smaller campaign like mine. And so it's one of those things where like the statue looked incredible, but I think that it was just that price point, it especially with everything that was going on timing wise, it was just a thing where like I feel like there were a lot of people that would have likely backed it were circumstances different. But that wasn't the thing. The big reason why I did the Kickstarter was there were two big playing factors into this. First of all, we had a good chunk of people that had been approaching me since the beginning about why I chose Indiegogo over Kickstarter and asking if I would ever do a Kickstarter because that was their preferred place to do business. And so that played a big part. And then another conversation was a conversation that I actually had with Randy.
It's all his fault.
I was asking his advice on some stuff on how to get Elysian Fields out there more and get it seen by more people. And his big thing was like, well, I mean, you're planning, you've been talking about doing this Kickstarter. If you do a Kickstarter for your product, your book, and you create something unique with what you have that sets it apart from the Indiegogo, I think that you'll do really solid over there. And Randy knows what he's talking about a good chunk of the time, and so I took that advice. And I do think that had I gone into this with the focus that I showed over the past 2-3 weeks and had been applying that the entire 60 days, without a doubt we would have been funded. And I think that probably would have been funded within the first 30 days.
Now, I've never ran a campaign, but I've talked to people who've told me that, and Eric, you've been a part of a campaign. Joe, I know you've done them. JD Calderon has done them. The campaign it's almost like running a political campaign. It is draining. It is taxing. JD, you've done it. I don't know how many times now with several different books. 18 times. Do you look forward to it, or is it something that you're just used to now?
It's funny. If I'm not doing one, I feel a little weird. So it's kind of gotten into my blood now doing them. So yeah, if I'm not running a campaign, I feel a little off. Like I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I not posting this? That sort of thing. But the thing is, I mean, Odin, I see the struggle you went through. If you would have asked me in the beginning, I would have told you to probably go for a lower goal because I know you went for 2,500. I would have suggested 15 or 1,000.
Yeah. I actually talked to Luke about that here. I was to Luke Stone here a little bit earlier, and that he said the exact same thing. He was like, "Yeah, man, I wish that you had gone to me with your campaign before, because I would have told you." Luke was like, "I would have even told you to do 500 so that you could hit it early and be coasting the rest of the time." Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that all makes sense. And I at the end of the day, I think I got a little bit ahead of myself. We had the big successes on both of those Indiegogos where we cleared 8K, so 2K didn't seem like that big of a thing for me. Yeah. But on Kickstarter, it's definitely tough.
It's just like from me going from Kickstarter to Indiegogo, you're building a new audience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right? So you got your audience on one side, but it's not going to translate over, right? Because they already probably picked it up over there, right?
Yeah.
So you got to build a new audience. Now on Kickstarter, some people will find you, but you still got to build on that. You still got to get in there, and you still got to build on it.
Mhm.
And that's the tough part. I mean, all of us go. It's the struggle. We all go through it as independent publishers.
Oh, 100%. And at the end of the day, like while it sucks, this is just a learning point. Like every single. It doesn't matter what field you are in, and it doesn't matter how much success you get out the front. Everybody is going to take an L once or twice.
Exactly.
The big thing is getting up, dusting yourself off, and moving forward. This is what I tried to do here today, where we had this rough start of the day, but Jim O'Reilly sent me the finished inks of his pinup that we have for the Embrace pre-launch, and I've been pushing that out, and we're now in the top 3 trending pre-launch campaigns on Indiegogo.
Good.
We've got we're nearing 150 signups on the mailing list, and we've had that pre-launch open for less than a month, and we're getting a lot of traction, and so that's what I'm trying to focus on is yes, we had a misstep with the Elysian Fields Kickstarter. There are things that we could have done better, but I still think that we gave it our all, and we pushed through to the end. And even though we didn't quite make it, I still am trying to make sure that the people that did come out and support us, they still get a chance to get that book. And then on top of that, I'm trying to double down on our efforts here on the Embrace and make sure that again, you learn from your mistakes. And
what you have to do is, I think when you're making. Go ahead.
About that, because I'm looking at the campaign. I do have a couple of questions about the campaign, because I'm looking at this and it's like, technically, from the courses and stuff that I took, he shouldn't have failed. He statistically he shouldn't have failed. So the question I have is like, what was the product that was being pushed the most, which would have been like the thing that the average person would have wanted?
The big thing we were trying to push the most of on that campaign was the main event, which was that collector. That was like the whole point. Is this deluxe edition that collected both the Zero issue and Pyramid Gambit as a really good way to establish to allow every single person that comes and backs this a good starting point in Elysian Fields, so that way they didn't feel like they missed out on anything, and they still got something unique without taking away from the people that were there to support us initially on the Indiegogo, making sure that each one of those experiences were catered to to each of those audiences, and make both of them feel like they were getting something that was unique to them and special for them.
I think that sometimes with these campaigns, we tend to overthink what the audience wants, and then not just that, but like if I'm going from Indiegogo to Kickstarter or vice versa, I know Michael didn't do this, but what I told Lola, who's planning on doing something very close to that, is she's going to go at least do a different cover when she goes over to the other one. That way, maybe that audience says, "Oh, you know what? I like that cover. I missed out on it. I don't have that cover," and they don't feel cheated. They don't feel like they just there's a different cover. It's a Kickstarter only cover, and make sure people in Kickstarter, if they want the Indiegogo cover, they got to go over there and get it. So people don't feel like they're missing out. We're joined by Pixel Trader, who's joining us. JD Calderon also didn't introduce himself. Could you real quick, JD?
Yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself. Okay, I got more questions.
How you doing, everybody?
I'm about to help him fix this.
Well, it's too late. It's over. But the thing is, too,
No. The reason I say I'm about to help you fix it because I really want you to relaunch it on Indiegogo, because again, it should have succeeded. You have the following for it. If that $45 tier was the tier that you were supposed to was the most valuable tier that you was offering to people, you only missed funding by 2 people.
Yeah,
but
so even with everything that you said, 2 people.
Yeah.
That's nothing. It's not like he was far away from it.
I also don't want to drive Michael to drinking because we're going to be sitting there all day. Hey, this is how you failed. This is what we did. I don't know.
I'm not saying this is how you fail or anything like that. I'm just up here with just trying to understand a couple of things because, like, $1,000 to $2,500 mark, it's like, was that arbitrary or was that truly calculated?
Well, it was more of an arbitrary thing. Like, it was, that's what I had. That's what I had. Like, when I did my zero issue, I had my goal way too high, and I luckily was able to bring it down so that we'd fund and everything for the zero issue. And then so when I went to the Pyramid Gambit, I had set that one at 2,500 because I felt it was like it's a solid number to hit. It doesn't feel impossible, but it also isn't so low that people are like, well, why are you only asking this much for this product given what you're offering? Because the main story of Pyramid Gambit, and just Pyramid Gambit alone, is 54 pages of story, and then once you add on like the character glossary and all that stuff, that book's 66 pages. So
hold on. The thing is, though, is Joe, you think he should relaunch on Indiegogo?
No, I think he should relaunch on Kickstarter.
Oh yeah, I feel the same way. I think you should literally rejigger it within the next 2 days and try to relaunch for maybe like a 10-day campaign.
Not sure I like that phrasing, but go ahead.
Jigger, J-I, jigger, okay?
You'll be canceled by this time tomorrow. Introduce yourself. No one knows who you are.
Yeah. My name is JD Calderon. I'm the writer and creator of the Oswald Chronicles. Soon to be on Kickstarter, real soon, within a week or two. Yeah, you can find me on Indiegogo and all these other places. But anyway, Odin, let's get back to this.
Oh, wait, what's it? Pixel?
No, Pixel has to introduce himself.
Oh, sorry, Pixel. Go ahead.
Pixel, introduce yourself.
Pixel Trader. I run IndieCron.com as well as do a little bit of promotion here and there where I can. And I'm bummed that it didn't make it, but I'm here to help wherever I can. So we'll take a look at it as it goes and see what happens, man. Also, we need to get the Embrace on there.
Yeah, no, man, I'm all done. You let me know. We'll get together. We did have the Pyramid Gambit up on IndieCron, and I completely forgot to send you the stuff for. As I said, like my life literally took a tailspin there for a bit, and I shut down for a good like almost month. It was rough. And
totally understand, man. It happens at times, and unfortunately, it happened right in the middle of the campaign for you. But you can recover and totally make this work. Definitely.
Trust me, if I could successfully fund Primetime Saturday Night 0 and 1 or Indiegogo after failing with a Make 100, you could come back and get this easily. And I did it within like 1 month in between the fail and the successful one.
I do want to ask JD, you're going to ask something. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I was going to suggest that you do a shorter campaign, 10 days, maybe 14 days, put it up for either $500 or $1,000, and most of these people, I think you'll get 80 to 90% of the people who've already backed back. You'll lose a few, but you'll probably get most of them back, and you may be able to get more on top of that, which will be different people. Because that's the one good thing about Kickstarter. The system itself will generate more people who bring them over to you, and hopefully some of those other people, like I said, 90% of those other people will still come over. So you might end up even further ahead.
And that's the cool thing about failed campaigns. You still have access to every last one of those people that backed. You can still send messages to them to say, hey, here's the game plan now. I'm about to get ready to relaunch. If you still want this book, here's the link to the new campaign.
Right.
I won't say 10 days, but I would say do a 20-day campaign. Lower it to about $1,500. I didn't run it through the calculation as of yet, but I'm just running it in my head. It's like if the Pyramid Gambit did 2,500, and you said that the issue 0 did what, 1,000?
So both the 0 issue and Pyramid Gambit each made 8K on Indiegogo.
No. What was the goal? What was your goal?
The initial goal for the funding goal that we ended up settling with on the Indiegogo Pyramid Gamut was 7K.
Okay.
And then we had the funding goal of Pyramid Gamut was 2,500. Or I think it was actually 2,000 even.
Okay, 2,000 even. That 7,000 is asking a lot.
And if you'd have gone 2,000 over on Kickstarter, you'd have been 400 over your goal.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Michael, did you use? I know that I believe you used one of the new marketers, right? One of the new marketing companies.
I did. I worked with Kevin Guillot. But I didn't so he didn't come on until after I was really starting getting into promotion again. So I got a hold of him, and Kevin Kevin did really good work. The big thing that I appreciated from him was he got the ads out there and was helping push our campaign and everything, got a lot of eyes on it. But the other big thing is that he was also constantly giving feedback. He had several different people looking at the campaign, telling us, okay, you should add this, switch the wording on this and this around because it's not hitting the Kickstarter algorithm isn't hitting it the way that it should, or something, and stuff like that. And so it was really useful. And I think that by the time that we got to the last week and a half or so, we had a campaign that was bringing people in. It was just it's one of those things where, again, I feel that as much help as Kevin and everything was, there is, when it comes down to running a campaign, there is one person that takes responsibility, and that is the person that runs the campaign.
Oh yeah.
That is you can have all the marketing, this, that, and the other. If you are not going out there and putting yourself out there on every stream and pushing the way that you're supposed to, you're not going to make it. And the sad fact of the matter is that I didn't do that for a month. And so a lot of the build-up and everything that I had done prior to the launch of the Kickstarter went away because I wasn't continuously going out there after. And I think that is honestly the biggest thing that played into why the Kickstarter didn't succeed. We came close, and we probably there are a lot of things that we could have done to prevent it from hitting the point to the point where we missed out on the $90 today. And it does sting, it does suck, but at the end of the day, all I can do is learn from my mistakes. And as I said, I know what I've recognized a lot of what I did wrong, and all we can do is move forward. I'm not sure if we're gonna do a relaunch of the Kickstarter because I already reached out to everyone, and I let them know about the alternative way to get a hold of the book. I've got a very good reputation, so I'm not pulling anything shady. And I already got a whole bunch of people that have accessed that. And I'm going home right now, and I'm going to draft up their invoices, send it to them, and have them shoot me their addresses so that I have that when I ship them their books.
I don't think that it's easy to take one of those losses on Kickstarter or any type of crowdfunding because people tend to think, oh man, it's going to be there forever to blemish my record. Eric, you had a situation, and hold on, Mike, I'm gonna meet you for a second because I think you're driving. I'm picking up some extra wind. I'll meet you in a minute. Eric, you had a situation when you were doing your Kickstarter. Was it Kickstarter you were on? Right?
No, Indiegogo.
Indiegogo. And you said, I remember you told me, if you don't mind me bringing this up, that you thought it was a little slow.
Say that again?
You thought it was a little slow. Like it didn't, I remember one of the things is there's a lot of people who follow your art and you weren't seeing that.
Oh yeah. No, And I'm still a little kind of miffed that there's a lot of people that expressed support over the years, and I can count on my hands the number of friends that actually bought the book, for example. And it just like the traction just didn't seem to get there. I mean, we've had people who we know say, "Oh, I didn't even know you had a campaign." So for some reason or another, the time period that we launched was a blind spot. And so that's definitely one of the things that we've learned from.
Yeah.
The saving grace was that we had it as a flexible campaign and did with it what we did. But I mean, we had everything else lined up. We had promotion from various wrestlers. Kitty Toombs tweeted it out herself. Pro Wrestling Tees, they were, and we had all of the great support. It just, for some reason, we just hit a blind spot.
Yeah, oh, go ahead, Pixel. I seen you on mute.
Yeah, I was going to say, I remember when the campaign was running, and for the life of me, I kind of remember there being a ton of campaigns running right around the same time, and so it may have been overshadowed. There were a lot of big names that had launched right around the same time you did, but I remember pushing it through Fanspeak and a few other places as well. But I can't recall who was all live at the same time. But I know there was a decent amount of books at the same while it was going. But
I think there was a lot of drama starting to build up around that time period too. So unfortunately, that seems to shadow everything.
I think too, the other thing that what's happening that I keep seeing, and I'm just a bad guy today, but when I say that, but one of the things that I keep seeing is these people who set these goals, and they're like, "Oh, look, my goal is $10,000, $14,000," and they pass that goal, and they're like, I'm the king of, I'm the king of fuck mountain. Look, and everyone thinks that's the goal to chase. And what these people aren't realizing a lot of times is that these people are lying. That that 14 grand, 8 of that is from my buddy, it's not going to clear, or it's not going to
materialize.
Materialize. But that campaign still says they made 90 grand. 100 grand, and they're and so now you chase that poisonous dream as well. I don't think Michael did that. I'll meet you, Michael. See if there's still a lot of wind. Are you good? Okay.
No, I
don't think he did that.
No, I don't think Michael did it, but there's a lot of people who now want to chase that. They want to chase someone else's number.
And that's my whole thing is I'm perfectly aware of where I stand.
Yeah.
Like when I did my zero issue campaign, I had a 10K goal because I was dumb and I didn't do as much research as I should have when I went in. And I'll be 100% honest about that. A lot of the zero issue was me teaching myself stuff as I went, and so that's why the campaign goal was ridiculously high. I was dumb. I was really, really stupid.
18 campaigns later, Jay, what are you? I mean, you're doing 18. Would you set your campaign goals to? Where you're usually like 500, aren't you? Don't you?
Yeah, I usually set them at 500. Because I don't like going through what Michael just went through. My first campaign I set at 5,000. I made it, but it was like the most grueling 30 days. It was the most grueling 30 days I've been through. It was so stressful. I didn't do another one for another 2 years. And then I did the 3,500. And again, it was another grueling 30 days. I raised it, but it was still like crazy. Then I was just like, but those were also for hardcover books. And then I switched over to just doing regular stapled books. And I lowered it to 500. I found a printer that I could work with. And I was like, okay, so we'll do it this way for a while.
See, I know that people launch campaigns and they're like, hey, I'm gonna, I need this amount of money. And it's like Lola's book is fairly expensive.
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna ask everybody on the panel a question about it actually.
Go ahead.
So my goal that I have to reach is 10 grand to fund the book.
Why is that?
Yeah, that's the first question.
Right. How many pages is the book?
It's about 70 to 78 pages.
So you may want to consider chopping it up. So instead of doing a 78-page book, you do a 20. Like just break it up into issues, and then do a compilation at the end.
But I'm
You may wanna
also
consider-
selling 3 books at the same time on one campaign.
Okay.
That might also be a problem.
Problem too, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the other 2 books aren't what. Those are just add-ons.
Okay.
The 10K is to pay my artist and colorist and.
Okay. I'm telling you this right now because if you do a campaign like that, you probably going to have to stress that aspect, and that might deter people.
I think that when you set these goals, again, chasing what someone else did is I mean, because granted, like I've seen people talk negative about people who set low goals, like, oh, I see you set $100 goal, so you could just say that you fund it. Now, here's the thing: I'll set $100 goal because most cases I'm going to print the books anyway.
Right.
I've
done the same thing.
Right. I'm just looking for basically at this point. I'm looking for pre-orders.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
That's the
looking
way
for.
that you need to treat it. You have to look at it as pre-orders. But give me 1 second here. I'm going to pull up this Kickstarter calculator that I got.
It's like
I'm going to run the numbers, and there's going to be one other question that I have to ask Lola, which is, what is going to be the average price to the product that you're pushing the most, or what you feel is the most valuable tier that's going to be in that crowdfunding campaign?
I'm still working on that, but I know my book is going to be anywhere from 20 to 25.
Okay, so it's safe to say $25?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me calculate the numbers, because the way that this calculation works, it gives you an idea of how many backers you would need for a $10,000 goal in Kickstarter.
I think
shout outs to Tyler James Vogel, because I'm a part of his community for comics launch, and this is one of the things that we constantly talk about and help one another deal with, is the actual crowdfunding aspect of the campaigns here.
I think that when these campaigns are also when you're setting one up, you need to figure out, what tier. You need to take time and develop your tiers, because some tiers just aren't going to be interesting to people. I was looking at a campaign Saturday, I think it was, and no, it was yesterday, and the guy had it's a random number, like 9 books, 9 of the same book, and it wasn't like there was no savings in the tier. So it's like if the book is $5, like there was no savings at all. There wasn't like, oh, you're gonna save, you're gonna get 2 books free if you buy this, if you get this tier. It was 9, it was like an arbitrary number, like 9 books or something. It was really weird, and people don't take time to develop those tiers either. There's all type of ways that you could fail at doing Kickstarter, and I would or Indiegogo. And again, I'm gonna print the books anyway, so my goal was gonna be low. It's gonna be $100. It's gonna be $500, because and you'll also notice you'll probably have stretch goals, because at this point, I mean, all that money is just gravy at that point. JD, you print you print like a lot more books than I do. Again, you're working on your 18th campaign.
Yeah, I mean, the way it's different for me. I've been stockpiling stuff for years.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what it is. Is like I've been producing the book on my own for years, and I've been stockpiling stuff. I got enough material for like another 2 or 3 years of constant campaigns. You know what I mean? And so it's like it's one of these things where I just keep going. So the more money I get in is just the more material I stockpile. The more material I stockpile, the more campaigns I have to put out. So my situation is a little different than, let's say, like Lola, who's raising funds to produce the book. Because I already started off with a war chest. I ran through that war chest and I built up the stockpile. And now I'm just cycling that money through. You know, so I think it's just a little bit different as far as the situation. But yeah, I mean, look, I mean, $10,000 goal, it's going to be tough. But my
It's
advice would definitely be what?
It's achievable, but it's going to be tough because, like I said, off the top of my head, I could pretty much say you're probably going to need somewhere close to like 1,500 backers. Just doing the numbers in my head, but I'm trying to get the actual numbers right now. Pulling up the Kickstarter calculator and doing the numbers now.
While he does that, Varian, what's our radio number?
Right now we're at 71,104. 71,104 listening. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Also, want to remind everyone too. I'll keep reminding you that while we're talking about Kickstarters, we talked about it. This one of our new segments is that the end is nigh for these campaigns. They're getting close. Make sure you hop over there. In the order of which they're ending. The Compendium of Madrid ends January 28th. Silverline, Teen Beetle ends the 31st. It has another book with it though. It's a flip book. Randy hasn't seen flip book now. I'm used to flip books being books that you.
There we go.
But it's a double book, has a different story in there as well. That's from Silverline. And Dreamweaver has Eagle Raven. I know those Dreamweaver guys. I hope that's a Dreamweaver book, isn't it, JD? Is it a Dreamweaver book? Eagle Raven?
That what?
Is Eagle Raven a Dreamweaver book? Is it?
No, technically that's her thing.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, it's from Eagle Works.
Yeah, Eagle Works. I'm sorry. So yeah, but it ends February 3rd. You can check that out. Although all this week, all of the books are on Kickstarter. So you guys can go over there and check those out. And you know they're all funded, but you know you probably want to get in on them. They are ending within. I think Daphne's is the furthest out at 7 days. Did everyone's mic drop except for mine? I could talk.
No, go ahead.
This has been a very interesting conversation. I'm just soaking it all up.
I still want to. I still have to pick on other people who haven't. I haven't done a campaign, so I don't know. Like, I don't understand the stress, but I've talked to people and they tell me it's stressful. Pixel dropped out. It's stressful. It's he did.
I think his baby woke up. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So he got pulled away. Yeah.
He says, but he did say 10K is a hard sell for a first time campaign unless you have some inspired art and a big push. And Lola's gonna have to deal with that. She's gonna have to deal with trying to figure that out and the rigors of running a campaign like that. And there's a lot of people who are gonna help. 10 grand is a bit of money, but here's the thing, if you see that, number, it can be daunting. You look at 10 grand, like, man, I can't afford that, or I'm never gonna make that type of money. She's gotta be able to push that, and she's gotta be able to get in there and go out there and talk to people, get on shows, and you can't do it, and you can't, you can create in a bubble, but you can't advertise in a bubble. You got to get out there and talk to everybody and go on these streams and
promote.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And JD, you've done it for so long now. I mean, again, I keep thinking about 18 different times, but you also, like, when I started doing books, like Randy and I know Eric, there wasn't like a lot of print on demand, so we had to make this big initial investment.
Mm-hmm.
I did that once with my first set of books, never again. Now it's like print on demand when I can, unless circumstances change, which that can and does happen. So again, they're getting printed regardless. Michael has Elysian Fields.
Copy. Is that on my?
The popping?
What popping?
Yeah, I think it's on your end. You may have to leave and come back out.
Yeah, you're getting a little freezing action working too.
Yeah, he's gonna.
And he's gone.
Yeah. It's that New York internet, man. I'm telling you.
Gotta be.
It's no good. The signals being reflected off the state building.
Well, there's also a hardcore storm going on between us and them right now too. So
yeah. I always say the internet's getting reflected off of Lady Liberty's torch, and
Probably.
that's why it's getting crappy internet.
Speaking of Liberty,
Oh,
how's Liberty distribution going?
it is going well. Again, 50 something stores. Just got
50 something.
more. Yeah, got two more requests today, and gonna be putting
Retailers.
those up. Yeah, retailers gonna be putting those in, and working on a lot of other stuff, exciting stuff coming very soon. I'll say this too. Working in the places that I've worked at FedEx, I've worked at UPS in my youth, and I learned.
Bringing JD back in. Well, there he is.
I've learned so much from working in those places about packaging. I was talking to.
He's frozen again. There he is.
I was talking to people who do shipping and looking at the boxes, and
they said $200 for what?
Yeah. No, they were telling me that they want to offer me a different type of box for smaller orders, and I'm like, we don't do that small. We're not sending one book in the mail. But there's always people who want to make some money off of you. Speaking of that, though, people want to make money off of you. Joe, did you get the calculator out? Did you do it?
Yeah, I'm working with it now. I'm just plugging in some numbers. Like the thing asked for, like, how big is her audience as of right now, meaning that how many people are actually following the project and whatnot.
Right. And right now, that's nothing. She's gonna be.
I haven't announced it yet.
Yeah, hasn't announced it. And quite
we gotta change that now. We gotta change that now. So I'm just gonna plug in an arbitrary number between indie vote, the shows and everything. I'm just going to choose a arbitrary number of kind of like 500 for right now. Figure out how to get that to work here.
Oh, let me see. Pixel says, time for you to kill out to come back when his mommy can watch. And Pixel, you're always welcome to come on. Thanks for saying it.
Pixel. Yeah.
You have no prior backers from previous campaigns, no prior customers before that.
Sorry.
How you doing, JD? It's frozen again.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. You're
I figure it's a storm.
Bad weather here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That horrible internet. I've been having internet problems all day, slow. Although it would probably help if I cut my computer off. I don't think I've turned my computer off in weeks now. It's just been on. I come from the old school where you used to turn your computer off every day when you're finished with it, and then I started getting older. I'm like, why do I do this stupid shit? My computer's never going off, so I leave it on all the time.
Yeah,
all the time. It's got to stay on. Now we've discussed that, and we've discussed what to do when your idea gets stolen. But when your idea does get stolen, too, this for Indie Boat Radio, should you confront the thief? My advice on confronting the person who stole your idea: be very careful. Physical confrontation can lead to physical conflict, and you don't want that. You don't want a jail record. I mean, it depends on how much it's worth to you, though. I mean, JD's from New York. That's all they believe in. But
please don't strap on and then go visit. Yeah.
Strap on
funny
means,
books. It's just funny books.
Strapping on means you're going to go do something else.
Well, maybe to you.
Yeah.
And then and maybe it might mean the same thing depending on what the creator wants to do to the guy or person who stole their idea.
Confronting somebody can be.
You might be looking at a different kind of fun time.
There we go.
Yeah. Confronting a person can be dangerous, though. I mean, it depends on the person.
Yes.
The thing is this: it's still your idea. You show them why it's your idea. You do it better than they will. I'm the type of person, I have told people before, I will create something, and I don't think everything needs to have $1 million budget. I was told when I first got into comics, you got to have money to do that. And it's like, oh, okay. Like that, you've got to have millions. And I remember, I remember being told that. And here I am in comics. I didn't have millions to start. Mm-hmm. these things you create, they require determination and effort and focus and spending late nights. Like Pixel said earlier, I know Dreaded Dinosaur has spent hours up where, I would love to be in bed sleep, but I can't. I gotta, work. Randy is somebody who has the weirdest hours. I don't know if he sleeps because we'll stay up talking to like 12, sometimes 1. I'll go to sleep, and then Randy will send me a message at 4. He's up. He's awake. I'm like, did you nap? Do you sleep?
Well, most of the time, I don't expect you to read them until you get up.
Yeah. But then I'm up. I'm up. Like I keep these weird hours.
The old expression is true. Russ never sleeps.
Wow, really?
Wow.
No, it's just that the wife goes to work, and I have to get her up at 4:15 and get her off get her going to work.
Is that right?
I caught that. Yeah. And then sometimes I'll stay up and read my phone or whatever, or sometimes I'll head back to bed. All depends on how I feel, But I usually end up napping in the middle of the afternoon, and that's when it really gets crazy, because that seems to be when every spammer in the universe knows that I'm taking a goddamn nap.
or when all the news breaks and you wake up like, wait, what's going on?
Yeah, I've had that happen before too.
Yeah, and I've got like
there's wackadoos where?
Yeah.
Well, that won't last long. I'm going back to bed.
Akeem says, do you recommend having a completed story before going to Kickstarter, or
Yes.
jumping in as is? Do you recommend having attention before starting? If you can have attention before starting, go ahead. But sometimes the only time people are going to realize that you have content is when you put it out there.
And sometimes you're using, you can't use the Kickstarter, but if you run an Indiegogo, sometimes you can get instant access to those funds in order to pay your creative team while you're in the midst of the project. You just have to be careful.
Okay, here's the numbers, and she's not going to like this. For $10,000 in the estimated funding that I have here, final calculation is $10,041. You're going to need at least 402, but that is fudging the numbers about her audience.
It's 402 backers.
402 backers. That's how many she would need. But the thing about it is that I fudged the numbers about her audience, because she would have to look at things about family and friends, extended family that she could contact. She doesn't have anybody that backed any Kickstarters, no people that bought books from her before. I don't know how big is her fan email list, how many Facebook friends she has, fan page list and stuff.
I have thousands on my social medias.
Yeah,
you have to take in consideration of all of that, and this calculator takes in consideration of all of that for how many backers, this, that, and the other, and then it looks at and tells you, well, you could raise up to this amount estimated. They say on the low end it would be $9,037, on the high end $11,000. With 402 backers.
My goal is also going to be flexible. I need 10 grand, but if I just want to pay off my artist/colorist, that's going to be around $6 grand to $6,500.
Right. So all of that comes into play here, and that's why I was looking at all of this here as far as what it was needed. But the major question here is you need to build that audience now. You can't wait anymore.
I just messaged my artist to see if he has anything ready that I can start previewing.
Yeah, I think that
does he have a cover?
Right now, he's been working on character designs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Character design. If you have like 2 or 3 solid character designs and a cover, you have enough to start pre-promotion.
Yeah, I don't have a cover yet.
Getting a main cover is something that I think you should prioritize. And then on top of that, the other big question is you've got a 78-page story that you're looking at doing as your main book, right? So what's the price point that you're looking at putting that at? Are you looking at putting it at 20, or are you looking at putting it closer to 45? Because I'll tell you, like I had
20 and 25.
20 and 25. Okay, and so
Yeah.
it's
And
38
then my
pages of
next
story.
tier would be for all 3 books at 35.
Okay, I would actually put the 78 pages at 30. Solely because of how high because once you have your graphics and everything like that, like you're gonna have your title page, you're gonna have all that stuff. You're looking at closer to 90 pages. 20, like yeah, that's a great deal, but you can get more for that. Don't sell yourself too short.
Some of the characters.
And those look great.
Yeah, now you guys have noticed that
You're muted.
Oh, you guys have noticed that I have it's Lola's book. It's not mine. And I've offered opinions, I've offered advice, but you know, it's also one of the things that I know it's her. She wants to do this. And so it's like I'll offer help where I can, but I also value my marriage. So it's funny.
No, that's completely fair. But what I will say is, again, I would put your price point for your main book at 30, and then your digital tier that you have.
I'm not doing digital.
You're not doing digital? Okay.
No.
Are you? No, that's fine. And if she's going to the Indiegogo market, I'm going to be honest with you. Digital doesn't sell shit over there. The majority of that market is all about physical.
Okay, I'm about to say Kickstarter. Good luck.
On Kickstarter, a good quarter of your sales will be digital because it's easy and what have you, and it's one of those things where I can do like a low cost backing to help this guy out, and then all of my buddies can see it. So like digitals are very popular over there. Indiegogo, they do not sell shit. I didn't like on my 0 issue. I added a digital tier because people told me I should. Less than 20 people backed it. Okay, there was no point. So when it comes down to it on your book, then what you're gonna want is you're going to need at least, I would say on your Indiegogo, you're going to want at least 2 to 3 variant covers, and then maybe even like a limited edition, like something super slick, something super sleek, and especially this is a Lola. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is a fetish book, correct?
The fetish book is one of the add-on books.
Okay,
this one is adult.
Okay, so then yeah, something that feels like maybe like a hard cover with a UV gloss kind of deal, that kind of like something sexy, sleek to push out that you'd be able to upcharge, throw in a bunch of like behind the scenes stuff for the book in that tier, so that way you have a tier that you can price at around $60 as a good mid-level tier to put as your featured perk.
I know that when you're creating the books or putting them together, thematically, when you're designing the book, it works if you can kind of make the format of your book fit with the structure of the story. But I will say this: Lola's book, it has some adult content in it. It's not the main book she's pushing, which is called Lore. It is it has adult content in it, so it's a very adult story. Probably what you would see probably in an R-rated movie. But you know, I told her, you know, you should do a nice, you know, we talked about the cover and the design before. She's got some stuff she's already got done. She spent a little bit too much money in getting one thing designed. We had some back and forths about that. I want to go to the questions. Trish says, Lola, I love you. You don't have this wrong, but if you're going to promote your book, I will ditch the shoe count for you common people I've talked to say they can't take you serious with the camp. You know what? Lola always gets shitted on. I think it's because she's a woman. Honestly, I mean, she had a gentleman say at one point, why does she have her breast out? It's the same people that.
Well, you're being kind. You're being kind using the word gentleman.
Yeah.
Sorry.
there was a guy who said she has her breast out, and it's like, well, she has an illness. She can't wear t-shirts. I mean, she could wear a t-shirt and come here and choke herself, but she's got to cut the t-shirt down. Here she has, well, I can say it. She can't get mad at me. She's my wife, but she has a illness where her breasts grow a cup size or two every year. Send in your donation so I can keep buying expensive ass bras, because those things, I can't buy her the cheap ones. But so, and, hey, if you got them, flaunt them, right? But the thing is, like, I had somebody, Randy, you remember, I had a gentleman pick on me about my speech pattern because I say, and it's like, well, dude, I've had 3 strokes. Sometimes the words don't come as quick as they used to.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
there are assholes everywhere.
Yeah, that's the point.
You get people who will figure out whatever they can to say that you just, I don't like this person because I don't like Randy because he's got a beard. I don't like Joe because, he's a handsome individual who's lost a lot of weight recently. I looked at one picture. I noticed Joe did lose some weight. You were stockier in that other picture.
I fluctuate. No, I fluctuate. It's like, it depends on if I'm working out or not working out.
So there are these different things. However, she doesn't have the shoe cam all the time. We joke about the shoe cam, where it came from. I don't know if people know this. We took it. The idea came from the Wendy Williams show. Wendy Williams has every time someone comes on her show, she's like, let's check out your shoes you're wearing. And it's you. And I made the joke to Lola. I'm like, you got so many heels. You need to start showing them off because you haven't gone to Comic-Con this year. You don't have anywhere to wear them. You might as well put the shoe cam up there. We do so many.
I got a lot of people that actually message me about the shoe cam.
It's weird, isn't it?
They like it.
In a positive light, right?
Isn't it weird though that they do that? They contact you about it. Just also on the shows. That
I kind of agree with too. But that takes getting used to being on camera more so than anything else.
Yeah, I think that if you like, for me personally, I first of all, I've had to shut myself up because I realize that I talk a lot.
No.
At one point I was like, Jesus Christ, man, shut up! Watching one of my videos. Well,
you talk a lot.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes more than you, Mr. Oden. Sometimes more. No, I was watching our episode of Invoke, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta shut up. But I try to lead the conversation, so it's one of those things. But
it's easy to talk a lot when you get a sparkle in your eye and you get passionate about what you're addressing. I do it all the time too.
And I think that
there's no hate there, Trish. There's
no. It's how and all that advice is good advice you can take into account. And the thing about advice, you take it or you leave it. You don't have to let it define you. I know people who should have stopped making movies long ago, but they keep making them, and comics too, and they keep making. They won't take my advice, but they just stop. But we have reached the end of our program, so we're going to start with JD first. JD, where are you from?
Just step out for a minute. You might want to start with Michael.
Okay, did you step out? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, we'll start with Michael then. Mr. Owen, where can you be found at?
You guys can find me on Elysian Fields _0 at Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at Elysian Fields _0. And we have the sign up page for the Embrace. So sign up for that. You're not going to want to miss out on that. We revealed Jim O'Reilly's beautiful pinup, which is going to be colored here as well. So just stay to do.
I retweeted that for you.
Yeah, I saw. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where you can find me.
Let's go to Mr. Calderon. Where can you be found at, sir?
Yeah, hopefully if I don't keep dropping out. JD Calderon. All right, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Go. We see your books.
Cool. All right,
blown up.
Yep.
There you are.
There you go. So probably about the Oswald Chronicles. I mean, not Facebook, Kickstarter. You can find me on Facebook under JD Calderon, and Twitter under JD Calderon. So there you go.
And Joe DVP, where can you be found at, sir?
I could be found out. Our comic books could be found at exigencystudios.com. That is exigency, Exigency studios.com. You can get all our comic books directly from us from there. You can find myself on Facebook, on Instagram up under Silverbolt, on DeviantArt up under Silverbolt14, and I do have a YouTube channel from the Desert. We do episodes of From the Desert, Small Press Publishers, where some of the people here have actually appeared on. Yeah. So if you want to go back and take a look at those episodes, you could go ahead and do so as well.
Had a great time where I said a lot of controversial stuff.
But that was the perfect time to say it.
You know,
we actually put it out there for the record, and we actually explained everything.
You know what's cool? I honestly have gotten nothing but positive response from it. From I mean, we anybody who watched the show know that me and Joe start talking about what it's like to be a black man in the comics, in creating comics, and we had a discussion. It was in depth, and I had people who said, you know what, I can appreciate what you said. I might not agree with it 100%, but I can appreciate what you said. I understand where you're coming from, and so that was really cool, and that was a really good show, Joe. I appreciate you for having me on. Eric, where can you be found at?
Oh, well, you can find me at Dreaded Dinosaur on, let's see, there's Instagram, there's Twitter, the Facebook fan page, and, you can also go to erichodson.com. That's ERIKHODSON. Buy some prints from me, help me pay the rent next month. And, those are pretty much the play. Oh, you can also find me here next Monday for It Came From Webtoon. I'll be joined by Michael Oden here to my this way.
Yeah, that. Yep, yeah, not the right way.
Whatever direction I'm at.
And yes, and we'll be featuring another great webtoon that joins the ranks of Dreaded Dinosaur Man and the Elysian Fields on there in webtoon canvas that needs to be read and needs to be shared.
Mr. Zim, where can we be found at?
Well, you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter under Randy Zim. You can find me on Facebook under Randy Zimmerman. You can find me on YouTube at the Zim Geek channel, ZIMMGEEK. Also on Facebook, we just started a Arrow Comics 4.0 page, so please go over there and take a look, like and subscribe there. Well, not subscribe, but follow. You'll see more stuff being added over there, especially in the shortly in the days to come. Other than that, Varian and I will be back Thursday morning for the Breakfast Buzz at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the Indie Volt Radio Network. And then also on Sunday morning, I host a program called the Sunday Funnies, where we talk about the more lighthearted and whimsical side of comics most of the time at 9 a.m. on Sundays, again, Eastern Standard Time.
Mm-hmm. And then Indie Princess, where can you be found at, ma'am?
I can be found, let's see, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, under the Indie Princess. Just look for my face. I'm there. And tomorrow night, you can find me on Geekgasm at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Good stuff. I think that I'll make. I'm not on the show, but I will be doing the executive producing behind the board.
You are going to be on the show because Meredith ain't going to be there tomorrow.
Well, we can figure out some stuff. Who knows? Lots of stuff changes. It's a big internet. Things happen. Anyway, guys, before we go, I want to show you guys 18-year-old Varian. I showed this last week, but there he is. It's 18-year-old Varian. And
ROTC Varian.
yeah, I was military school.
I know that uniform very well.
Yeah, believe it or not, this this was this was weird. I was it wasn't until my final year of high school where I started getting promoted, because I think when I left school I was a staff sergeant or sergeant first class. I forget which one I was. I can't remember anymore, but do look back on that time fondly. You can find me at online. They were Varian Grant, any social media network. Also, KYD_V on Twitter. And then you can find me as well as my personal website, whenweriot.com. That's right, whenweriot.com. Please go check it out because I swear it's not nefarious. It doesn't mean anything. It was just, I thought it was a cool name for a website. Yeah, it's my web. It's my YouTube says it and everything. It's crazy. Whenweriot.com. And then, of course, indievolt.com. Liberty Distribution, Liberty and Hammer Distribution Group, ledg.us. And also, if you're in the mood, IndieVolt Radio, final number tonight, tapping out at 75804. Thank you for listening, guys. IndieVolt.com. Listen online now. IndieVolt Radio, get it on Google Play. If you have an iOS or an Apple phone, download Streamer. And then you can get us on Streamer as well. I'm going to work very tirelessly for the next couple of weeks to make sure that we can go natively to Apple, because I know that's going to help a lot of people find us, especially like Eric. He'll download the app happily if he can get if he can get on Apple devices. Also on Alexa, if you have an Amazon device in your house, you can ask her to play IndieVolt Radio for you. And then IndieVolt TV, which is this is signage here. This graphic is out of date now. We've actually changed the logo for the TV, and we've added some new stuff up there. Just yesterday, some new stuff got added from Matt Woodbury, Pop of Zero. A couple of things that he's done. We have another movie up there from Stephen Haas. That is his last name. He has a movie out.
Bless you.
I'm trying to make the name of it really quickly. It is. I can't make the name of the movie. Seth and Tia. Seth and Tia is up there. Check that out. IndieVolt TV on Roku and Roku enabled devices is completely free, just like our radio app. Check it out. IndieVolt Live at indievolt.com is where you want to email us if you have a question. This can include IndieVolt Live in the subject, and keep those emails 90 words or less, and we will read it here on IndieVolt Livewire. Remember, though, no questions too big, small, or silly, because Randy always says,
our feedback will be better because of your setback. Hashtag get an education. Hashtag IndieVolt.
That's it for us here.
Before we leave, I just want to wish our letter writers Kay and JT. Mm-hmm. We hope that they get along. Remember, life does get better. And for anybody else out there, that if you're around people that are robbing your ideas, you really need to cut them out of your life, because you have to think about what kind of character that person displays when he's constantly taking your ideas.
Yeah.
So you're better off not having anything to do with them, and just like we mentioned who was it, Kay, just run.
Yeah.
Leave them alone, do your own stuff, and that way if you're not talking to them, they're not going to take your ideas, are they?
Creating that vacuum if you can.
Yes.
And also try to if you must talk to people, get a group of creatives that you trust. Because the thing is, I think anybody who knows like the blood, sweat, and tears of creating this stuff, they won't do that to you. They appreciate what you're going through, and they're not going to somebody who steals your ideas. They have no appreciation of the industry. They're just trying to make a quick buck or to get themselves famous.
And again, think about what kind of character that it says of that person.
Yeah,
I really want that person around you.
I often joke, and these guys here all pick on me about never advertising my own stuff on IndieVolt, and I've lost JD.
Lost JD again. Yeah, it must be that storm.
I've made jokes that I try to keep my stuff off of IndieVolt, because it's there to promote comics. If I wanted to promote myself all the time, people would start saying, "Oh my gosh," because I could have called it, Variant Grant Presents. I could have called it, hey, Kino Subway, we're getting out of here, but you can watch back the replay. Thank you here. Trish, thank you for watching. Yeah, appreciate it. But I don't like to advertise myself. It's very weird. I'd rather advertise you guys, and so, but they have to remind me, Varian, you could at least throw a Liberty ad in there.
Exactly.
It's getting to a point, buddy, where it's not you promoting yourself now, because of the service that Liberty is getting ready to do with reaching out to retailers with independent projects and stuff that they can't find anywhere else. It's not a matter of you helping yourself now as much as you helping everybody, because all of us, most of us here, have books at Liberty, as well,
right?
And you'll be offering the Revolt book when it's out.
Yeah. So we just it's just one of those things where now, and I've looked at it that way, and it's still, but you still won't see me doing like a bunch of like really pro variant grant stuff on the channel. However, I am in the process of working on something where I've been taking people behind the scenes a little bit of how that stuff is done, because I know I want to show. People have reached out to me and they said, "Hey, Variant, man, how do you get your your reach overseas? What's that about, and how is that done?" And I want to go into detail about what we did to grow that number. I'm not going to give away too many trade secrets, but I will show some behind the scenes, footage of how that, occurs. And, you guys can follow along when we go live.
Justify some of the high expenses that you've had to fork over the last couple of years to get that. I'm working with a company to actually build a live monitor, so you guys can see the radio number grow. Oh, that would be awesome.
That would be really
live.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm working with a company.
If you had even if we were to scroll it across the bottom of the screen in actual time, that would be incredible.
I'm working on something. I may have to switch over to running myself or another box through
aimed at your monitor.
The OBS, well, aimed at this particular code, so we can, and you guys can see it in real time. People are listening at, and again, we appreciate you guys for listening wherever you are. IndieVolt Radio, IndieVolt TV. We really appreciate it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, we come up with this stuff to entertain you. I come up with these, like IndieVolt TV, the IndieVolt Radio. I will say that it would be no IndieVolt TV without Hart Fisher. Who, by the way, the condolences to Hart Fisher. He recently lost his mother very recently. Hart, you have our condolences. But there would be no IndieVolt TV without that, because I was like, I want a TV station. I always had wanted one. And Hart was foolish enough to tell me how to do it. So I went into that. I got the information, and it cost some money. It wasn't cheap, but it also demanded me to, luckily I know how to, program, so that helped too. Anyway, though, enough babbling from me. We will see you back here tomorrow night at 9 p.m. for Geekgasm, and then Randy and I'll be back at you Thursday at 9 a.m. for IndieVolt Breakfast Buzz.
Yep.
And then, of course, again, I'm going to try to maybe get that special out where we go a little bit behind the scenes and show you guys some fun stuff. And then Michael Owen and Eric will be back with you Monday at 9 p.m. for It Came From WebTube.
And I'll be there Sunday morning at 9 a.m. with Sunday Funnies as well.
That's right.
As soon as we figure out a few people to have on. Absolutely.
Until then, guys, stay safe. Keep reading comics and drink some water.
We love you all. We love the fact that you're passionate about comics just like we are. So
exactly.
You need to drink some water.
Yeah.
I need to go drain some water.
What goes in must come out.
Are we going out with a commercial? Let's go out with a commercial.
I just want to do a little quick teaser. 1 second.
There we go.
That was very quick.
Nobody even saw it. It was a black screen.
That's right. Very quick teaser. It's coming soon. I'll show you guys the rest of it. Just keep your eyes peeled. Here we go. I'm taking us out.
All right.
Yay! Think about what you've accomplished.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
I gotta still.
Don't mess with the bull, young man. You'll get the horns.